Hello everybody and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks, which is brought to you by Chasing Thrills Custom T-shirts and accessories, sponsored by the Ice Shaker, and we are also sponsored by Make It Mac. You guys can buy your custom Timeout Talks apparel via www.chasingthrills.com, and you can purchase your Ice Shakers at www.iceshaker.com. Quick shout out, we also have a sponsorship with Ice Shaker, as I've mentioned in the first half of the show. 15% off. I saw Jose has an Ice Shaker. I told him, what the hell is he doing? He can use our discount code. So if anybody wants to switch on from a Yeti, they want a new type of different, shaker, for lack of better terms, go get the Ice Shaker, a better shaker, exactly. Thank you, Ben. Go get the Ice Shaker, 15% off. We have a deal with them. So, hey, you're not missing out on that. You definitely want to take that money. And it's a win-win for both sides. But yes, you guys can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, everybody coming in. I know here we go. Charlie, Rip, Josh's hopes and dreams. We're going to get to that in a second. But I really want to emphasize, want an Ice Shaker, you want a new drink for you're going to the gym, whatever. It's not beach season, but they're awesome for that too. They keep ice really cold. Go out and get an Ice Shaker. We have a deal, 15% off. So buy that.
Get ready for beach season.
Yes,
get ready for beach season with it.
Exactly. Get ahead of the curve. They probably got some deals going on right now. I know they recently just came out with a liter one, 15% off. That takes off what, $20 to $15? It's pretty good. Not bad. I don't know the finances very well. But yeah, you're welcome, guys. Take advantage of us in this show. We're helping you out. I actually got to buy a new Ice Shaker too, so here we go. But here we go. We're off and running. We've got a very similar slate here. We're going to be heavy NFL, so stick with us, football fans. You Swifties out there, all these people who are falling in love with NFL now. Hey, you came to the perfect spot because that's all we're going to talk about this week. We're going to recap the NFL Week 3. We're going to kick the show off with my Cowboys. Don't you worry, Jeff and Charlie. I know you guys want to hear about that. And later we're going to give you some of our locks, upsets, our Week 4 predictions. James has a bold take on the Cowboys-Patriots game I'm going to get to in a little bit. I think he was kidding, but I'm going to hold him to that word that he said to me earlier. However, I just had to give myself a quick little refresher again. I know we lost by 12. I know Arizona absolutely took us out of the game. But I like to rewatch the Cowboys games. I don't know if anybody knows this. Every Monday, or if they play on Sunday, I usually watch them on Monday, rewatch it. I like to analyze it. I know it's corny. I get crazy with it. I didn't do that this week for some weird reason. There's been a lot going on. I think this loss really hit me. But it's typical Cowboys. It's typical Cowboys. It reminds me of that Denver loss years ago where Denver just shut us out. It reminds me of that Colts loss years back when the Colts just absolutely thumped us. It's really frustrating. And it's the same Dallas Cowboys every single year that I have to deal with. And the Cardinals just gashed us up the throat, and they just ran the ball straight up our throat, did whatever they wanted on offense. Excuse me there. Did whatever they wanted on offense. They completely... I'm very riled up. Neutralized our defense. I mean, Rondell Moore was getting involved. It's just... James Conner was looking like flashback to his Steeler days. Dallas Cowboys, still the same issues in that red zone that I talked about. That's really concerning now. I mean, how many trips in the red zone are you going to have? Just go unanswered. You can't walk away with 3 points, miss field goals, whatever the case is. You go for it on fourth down, you miss it. It's just beyond frustrating. It's a very winnable game. I think James was one who came up with a very good point. I think this Cardinals team is going to play kind of competitive, although they shouldn't. I'm blanking on a team, but they kind of remind me of, I said the Texans were going to be that this year. They got the win last week. But this Cardinals team played well. No excuses. Dallas should have won this game hands down. They were the clear favorites by 10 or more at the very least. And Dak Prescott and company didn't show up. I hated the way he addressed the media the next day. I hated the way Micah Parsons did too, basically saying we played down to the level of competition. I think we got punched in the face, and I really liked Rex Ryan's assessment on this. This was the blueprint to beating Dallas. If you've watched the last 2 to 3 years, the 49ers have that blueprint. It's run the ball down our throat, completely neutralize our defense, neutralize Micah Parsons, take him out of the game, and not having Trayvon Diggs, Romo's all fired up right now too about the Cowboys loss. Not having Trayvon Diggs out there, you can't play that man-to-man defense. And again, I know there's going to be people in the comments who say I'm using him as an excuse. I'm not. I think the Arizona Cardinals had a very good recipe on how to beat us. They took a page out of the Eagles and the 49ers with just run the football down our throat, get a lot of RPOs going. They utilized Joshua Dobbs' legs, which, I mean, it was very good. Spectacular game plan from the Arizona Cardinals. This is a team that a lot of people thought were going to come in and tank. They've played. Romo's coming up here to say hi. Hi, everybody. Romo really wants my attention. But this is an Arizona Cardinals team that, everybody thought was just going to lay on their back this season, go tank for Caleb Williams, and they're not doing that. They're playing with some aggression. They completely neutralized us defensively, did what they had to do. On Dallas sides here, I want to see, shout out to Tyler, I want to see them get Brandon Cooks more involved. Why run away from the running game? Like, we get ourselves in an early hole. They need to come out angry against this Patriots team, Ben and company, whoever's listening. It's a loss you shouldn't have. I'm glad we got it out of the way. Dan Quinn having a good point, trying to save face, get these losses out of the way now. But this is a game you have to win. This is frustration that's boiling within me. And right now, I look at Philly, I look at Dallas. Talent-wise, I don't see much of a difference, but I see a clear difference in the win column, and I see a clear difference in the coaching. Philly looks good. They're 3-0. They did what they had to do. That's a gutsy win last night against a Tampa Bay Bucs team that I'm going to talk a little bit about later, Ben. I know we talked about them before, and I'm stealing the spotlight here. I'm going to turn it over to Ben in a couple seconds, but again, I want to wrap it up with, I think, Ben's point. I think everybody needed to calm down on Dallas. I think I did too, beating up on some bad teams. Got kicked in the mouth this weekend. And this Dallas Cowboys team needs to come out angry this week, Ben. They need to, 1, run the ball hard. 2, they need to control the line of scrimmage. This defensive line cannot get bully balled like that, like they did last week. And 3, they need to score in the red zone. This red zone efficiency has not been good for this Cowboys team, and I think it is a major, major question mark moving forward. Can they score in the red zone? Everybody wants to point to getting Kyle Pitts. That's not the problem. I think it comes down to Dak Prescott, and I think it comes down to this offensive calling right now. These play calls in the goal lines have been absolutely atrocious. A couple weeks ago against the Jets, they're taking Tony Pollard out of the game on first and goal for it was the first and goal, second and goal, and then third and goal. They finally brought him out and pass as a pass option. They're not executing the way they should be offensively. They're not taking into account for guys like Brandon Cooks. Michael Gallup's had a very slow start. And this is what happens. Trayvon Diggs goes down. The defense takes a big hit. And now the pressure's on Dak Prescott. And I want to see him step up this week. I want to beat the Patriots by 7 or more convincingly. I think we should. And I think that they will. But the media's talking again. The critics are back out. This is the same Dallas Cowboys team. We're hearing the noise. I think we'll bounce back. I think we'll be okay. But we got punched in the mouth, Ben, and I'm going to leave it to you with this. And I think everybody is starting to calm down on Dallas, as your point you were alluding to last week.
Glad we ended on that Dak one. That's a good one for me. But first, we'll get that out the way with Nick DeVos's comment, RIP to Brooks Robinson. Not too familiar with him, but I'll do a little research on him, but passed away at 86, RIP Brooks. I said he was the best third baseman ever. Do some research on that, try to figure it out. And like I said, I appreciate Josh. Josh said, "Hey, I'm going to give you some props before the show." He said you called it last week. I didn't call it. I called it sort of. It was just the schedule. I think the schedule just it was just a little too easy. I think this one just snuck up on the Cowboys, and Josh said it perfectly at the end. I'm going to forget everything else. The defense, Parsons. When you lose a player like Diggs, defense is going to take a toll. Nothing you can do on that Cowboy side. I think the defense played well. Obviously some big gashes, the Dobbs run, those deep balls a couple times, obviously. But I mean, what are you going to do? You lost one of your arguably best players on the defensive side. You're going to have some of those times. And shout out to Chi. Yeah, Josh Dobbs would be a pretty good fit on the Steelers. I get that one. I get that. I don't know. Josh Dobbs is just looking really good. He's been one of the best backups in the league for many years, and just finally getting some shot with Kyler Murray. So shout out to Josh Dobbs on that one. I mean, he was a great Steelers backup for us. Just wish him the best. Like I said last week, I want to see him win. I want to see him do well with these Cardinals, two former Steelers, him and Connors. As Josh alluded to too, I mean, this team's not that bad. They're bad, but on the offensive side, you got some weapons. Rondell Moore. I forgot about Hollywood Brown, Zach Ertz, James Conner reemerging. So, Josh Dobbs can keep performing like that. This Cardinals team has a chance. Defense is awful. I don't really know anyone besides Budda Baker. But still, that's where the main problem with the Cowboys I have is, and it's just mainly with one person. Like I'm going to say to Cowboys fans, relax. The team is looking all right. We're going to have some of these weird losses. Some of these teams get some of these games. It's the NFL. So calm down with everything else. But
any given Sunday, Ben.
Any given Sunday. But Dak's the problem, Josh. I don't know. He's going to figure it out right now. I'm not just saying it because he's on my fantasy team either. I know there's a little bias there. I know people are going to say that, but he's going to figure it out if this team wants to take it to the next level. I know it's been said many years, and obviously it's the easy comp out, but he's just got to figure it out. I think obviously losing Dalton Schultz and Zeke has been a big hit to him. I mean, that's been his favorite red zone target and just sort of go-to weapon. And Zeke, I don't have the exact stats, but I was reading something. It was about 70 to 30%. Zeke had the ball in the red zone carries to Tony Pollard. So Tony Pollard's got to adjust that new running style, not being sort of the red zone back. Last season, just give it to Zeke. Zeke pounded it in. Now you don't have that case, and you don't have that Dalton Schultz to rely on. Jake Ferguson got the most targets in the red zone last game. Only caught one in the red zone. So he's just got to adjust. Him and Dak got to get on the same page. It's I think really the easy cop out is just this is on Dak. Dak's just going to show up, Josh. He's got to just figure it out. I know a couple offensive linemen were out, and yada yada yada. But I mean. It's the Cardinals. No excuses. Yeah, no excuses. I mean, it's the Cardinals. Like I said, the offense is all right. It's got some pieces, as I mentioned, but the defense, they traded Isaiah Simmons. They're clearly looking for a rebuild. Getting rid of J.J. Watt. They're clearly looking for a rebuild on that side. And they just shut you down in the red zone. So the red zone is just very worrisome. I think they'll get that fixed. So like I said, just Cowboys fans, don't be too alarmed. Don't be going too crazy, but. The biggest problem is still sort of glaring. Dak's gotta figure it out. Like I said, not just saying for fantasy, because I might be moving on from fantasy. I think his fantasy days might be done. It's a side note. But real life, he can still be a viable and obviously Super Bowl winning quarterback. So he's just gotta figure it out with these new weapons. Like I said, I mean, losing two guys like Zeke and Schultz is going to hurt. Obviously, it might take a little more than 3 games in the season, but this Cardinals game was a little. Hope some issues, Josh. I was a little more confident in these guys, but I was a little shocked at this one.
Me and you both, and I think you're right. I think just to finish it on this, and we'll come back because we're going to be talking about the Cowboys a little bit later. There's some other teams I want to give. I want to give the Colts some credit in a little bit, but yeah. I think the issue with Dallas is you're 100%. It's Dak in the red zone. They don't have a hard time getting down the field. It's just if you look at the first 3 weeks, it's a lot of empty chances. It's a lot of complacent football. And I've heard a lot of ideas, and I think they need to get back to having Dak as a runner in the red zone. And I'm not saying, like, I know the injury, and I'm not saying he needs to be Jalen Hurts, he needs to be Josh Allen, but open up the RPO a little bit. Be a little, less predictable. Get Pollard going in the end zone. Don't try to be flashy and try to stat pads. And I feel like, to your point, they're trying to replace Schultz in the red zone too much. They're trying to use Dwaddle, who had a very nice game this past week, as the Ezekiel Elliott, the goal line bruiser, because we know Pollard's more of a finesse type of player. But just to finish it up here, the red zone is our biggest issue, and it reminds me so much. If somebody has the time to look it up, it is so similar to that Atlanta Falcons team when they had Julio Jones and they struggled so much in the red zone. It's like the whole field shrunk, which it does, and the Falcons just couldn't score. They were a solid football team. Matt Ryan and Julio Jones went through holy hell in the red zone, and that's exactly what's happening now. We get down the field. Of course, we punt. I'm not saying we get down the field every single drive, but even in that thrashing against the Giants and even the thrashing against the Jets, there was a lot of empty chances in the red zone, and I think that is Dallas's biggest issue right now, Ben. If you can score in the red zone, the momentum flips. I know the defense has been more solid. They had kind of a bad week this week, but expectedly so with Trayvon Diggs. I'm calling out Dak, and I agree with you. It's 100%. I know Dak can bring this team to a Super Bowl. I know it. I know he can. It's just, can he show us he can? That's the issue. Are we gonna see the Dak Prescott of that played the New England Patriots in Foxborough and was lights out this week? Or are we gonna see the Dak Prescott that just played against the Arizona Cardinals this past week, which wasn't good? I think we're gonna see a little bit of that Dak Prescott who played the Patriots last year, and I'm hoping for that Dak Prescott. But like you said, he needs to get going with these targets. Losing Ezekiel Elliott and Dalton Schultz has been very, very big. But I think we'll figure it out, and it's going to be slow, but we'll get there. Speaking of, I wanted to get to a couple comments here. We've got a couple people in the comment section, and one of the comments I wanted to get to was Charlie O'Donnell. Commanders are a dark horse in the NFC East. That was Ben's team that he's shaking his head, and Tony doesn't like it. Commanders, they scored 3 points this week, LOL. I was going to turn the table over to Ben because Ben had them beating the Bills, and that didn't work out so well. Ben?
We had some tough picks, and everyone's yelling at me for the picks and this and that. And yeah, listen, hey, nobody wants to talk about my week one picks my week one picks. I was on fire those picks. Everyone wants to hear mine, but of course when you start losing, everyone's a critic. So listen, you got to take these picks with caution. That was a tough one. That was a stab, Josh. That was a stab with the Commanders over the Bills. I don't know. I was a little more high on them. Josh this week really disappointed me with the Commanders. I know Jared's got all the stats and got all the everything about the Bills, yada yada yada. He loves the Bills, all this. It's a great team. But I thought the Commanders show a little more of a fight in that. They just got dominated. That Bills defense put them on notice. I don't know where that Bills defense has been all year. Obviously, just 3 games, but still, they just proved themselves to be out there. I mean, they just proved to be one of the best defenses, it seemed like, in the NFL that game. Just made Sam Howell look really bad. So Commanders that offense kind of scares me now. I know that defense is legit, great defensive line, solid secondary, key pieces over there. But that offense just backed me off. And I'm just backing off of the Commanders now, Josh. That offense stinks. Sam Howell, I want to see another, sort of a sample test, but that Bills one, they just didn't show any fight. That was just a tough performance. So maybe I'll just let Chi take that dark horse pick. Maybe I'll back off the Commanders. I got to go find someone else, but so I got to back off that one. Sorry, Chi.
You know what I will say, though? I know Ben's getting hate on that. I went 0-2 on my lock and upset last week. I had the Bucks beating the Eagles. That didn't happen. And I had the Ravens, which this game I really wanted to talk about. Ravens losing against the Colts. That was my lock of the week. And I thought I miraculously didn't put it in. I actually screwed up. and I put, who did I put? Maybe I put the 49ers. I don't know. I put somebody to win. I think it was the Chiefs over the Bears. That's what I did. And they won. I won my survivor pool. I'm 1 out of 5 left now in the survivor pool. It's gotten thin. I was just noted of that a little bit earlier.
It's only week 4.
It's only week 4. That's how wild it's been. I think a lot of people had Dallas this past week, and they were stunned.
True.
Whatever. I mean,
that's a good point.
Yeah, we'll take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, good for me, but also not good for me. My picks this year on Timeout Talks have been atrocious. Next week, I've been keeping a running log on Google Docs we're going to have. Ben's above 500. I'm like rolling around 500 right now, which is not good. I'm supposed to be an NFL expert. This is not good. But let's just sidetrack that. Let's sidetrack the picks. Let's get back to this Indianapolis Colts, because this is a hot story, I think. I think they have, and this is my first time I'm going to come on this Time I'll Talk show and say this, I have shifted my thoughts. I'm going to join Team James on this. I'm done with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm done hearing about them. I'm done hearing this, that. They're not ready defensively. I need to watch them a little bit more. I need to keen in a little more. I'm not sold on the Titans, although I do love that upset of the... Okay, whatever, I'll stop. I'll stop. I like that as an upset of the week this week, guys. Jeez, I'm spoiling.
Whose upset is it though? Whose upset is it? Now they don't know who's going to take it.
Spoiling things. But aside from that, I like this Colts team. They're playing very well with little to no star power. They don't have Jonathan Taylor. They don't. Their quarterback situation's been in limbo, and I think Gardner Minshew's been a phenomenal backup. I also like what I saw at Anthony Richardson. Again, we talked about this the first 2 weeks. I think they need to really dial it in and rope him in from running the ball 18 times a game, because he's just going to get hurt. But this Colts team is kind of fun to watch. I think their defense is stingy. They make plays, and that's a solid win against the Ravens. I want to say that right there. That should have been the real... Cardinals against Cowboys is upset of the week too, but that's up there with the Ravens one too, because the Ravens were flying high and now they're not flying high. This Colts team, I think they have a legitimate chance to win the division. I'm gonna come out and say it.
Yeah, no, Josh getting hot with those takes.
Getting hot with it. I'm getting hot.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, 2-1, sitting pretty. They already got one over the Texans. I was gonna say, Josh mentioned earlier in the show too. I was gonna completely agree with this Colts team take. You know, I don't know about the division yet, but they really impressed me so far. Minshew Mania. I've never been a big fan of him. I was never really big into that. Minshew Mania, obviously on the Jags when he first got started. But I mean, if Rich can just take some time, get fully healed, maybe learn some things. I was saying a little, Minshew's obviously a runner as well, but he protects himself a little better. Maybe we can learn a little more from a couple of games watching him. But I just loved what he did against that Baltimore team. I know. Baltimore was missing 7 starters, in that game. They were already banged up. And again, I don't know who runs that, sort of training program over there, injury, I don't know who's in charge of that. They just got to figure it out. They got to, because it seems like every year you got about 10 people on the IR and that injury report piles up. So they got to figure out their conditionings, condition coach, whatever. I don't know the terms over there, but they got to just figure out that whole department. So they got to figure that out, but Colts still put out, it was a tough game, tough, gritty game. Defense is showing out. I think, we got a couple stars. Pittman, obviously, solid guy. Zach Moss. I mean, Zach Moss coming back into town, looking really good against a tough Ravens defense, So I like what the Colts are doing. I don't know about the division. Josh is a little there. I still might back my Titans. And the Titans got a good D. I don't know. It's just so gross, Josh. Another team. Yeah, as I was mentioning, the Commanders, the Jaguars really just turned me off too this week. This just, you got to take advantage of that Texans team at home. And CJ Stroud just let you up. I'm all over the place right now too, but you got to shout out CJ Stroud, obviously the best rookie performing. I mean, he's just putting up numbers. Proven that Ohio State quarterback theory a little debunking that a little. Obviously, listen, Joe Burrow went to LSU. I know he went to Ohio State for a little, but mainly LSU. But he's kind of disproving it right now. I'm liking what I'm seeing from that young Texas team. Hopefully, they can calm down this week. But this Colts team, I think they can rally around Minshew. Got a solid core of offensive weapons. Our offensive line is finally healthy. It's just been plagued for so many for these recent years. And I think Jose and Jeff can have something to smile about right now. I think those guys are happy. So I mean, they're going to be able to compete in this AFC South, and I think that's their major thing with it, because that just division is just kind of like up for it's just kind of up for grabs right now. It's like just choose your pick. Who do you think? I mean, the Texans are right there too. I mean, the Texans keep putting points up like that. You never know. So I like what the Colts are doing, but I'm not ready to put them up there yet. That's a hot take from Josh. I'm I'm distancing myself from the hot takes today because I'm cold. So I'm gonna take that one. But anyone can win that division, Josh. Just awful right now.
That's why I believe in them. Just switching over to week 4 here. They're matching up against the Rams at home. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to go 3-1. I know the Rams are kind of a weird wild card team that, they have a lot of veteran leadership. They're kind of playing teams well. Like they lost to the 49ers, but I thought they played them a little tougher than I would have imagined. I think the Colts are going to win again. And I don't know why it bothers me to say, because I just, coming into the year, I was like, no, they suck. Like, I don't. But Anthony Richardson looks really good. And they're getting guys involved. I think I believe they're going to have him back this week for week 4. No Cooper Kupp yet, who's going to be the man. We're going to calm down on the Puka once Cooper Kupp is back. I think that's a hot take from me. I think the targets are really going to go down. And plus, I have Cooper Kupp in fantasy, so
he's ready to go.
Being a little biased. Yeah. We were waiting for where it was going. I don't know why
he was so down on Nakua.
But yeah, no, I'm not down. But I think that production will drop down, and I think the production will increase for Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford and this Rams team once they get him back. He's their best player on offense by far when he's out there. But I like this Colts team, Ben. There's something about them. Like, again, I'm not saying that they're going to go 11-6, or they could even win this division at 7-10 because of how wild this division is right now. I think the Jags really need to figure it out because they're on paper and trajectory should have been taking the next leap, especially because they won a playoff game last year. But I like the Colts. I think Anthony Richardson is a very dual threat quarterback. He can give you a hard time out there. Shout out to Shane, my little brother Shane. Shout out Cody. They've ranted and raved about him for a while, and I calmed them down. He's one of the rushing quarterbacks I do like. And I think aside from Stroud, I think he's better. I think that he is legit. I do. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I do. When he's on the field, I think they have good chances to win the game. However, we've got some other interesting slates here, Ben. We've got the 2-1 Bucks traveling into New Orleans to play the Saints. I've been telling Zach just cross that one on the calendar there because that's a huge game. You've got, what else do we have? We've got 2 0-3 teams, either the Broncos and the Bears. One of them has to win.
Thanks.
One of them's going to plummet to the first round pick, the first overall pick. Another one has to finally get a win. You've got the red-hot Miami Dolphins traveling into Buffalo. That's going to be a shootout, I believe.
Shout out Mostert.
I think we might have to give our prediction for that game, to be honest. We've got a very interesting Thursday night football game finally too. This is a very important divisional game. 2-1 Lions traveling to Green Bay to play the 2-1 Green Bay Packers, who itched out that win against the Saints that I actually didn't know happened. That was a little too... Yeah, we'll get to that. We've got Vikings 0-3, Panthers 0-3. We've got a couple, Patriots, Cowboys. That's always a good one. Interesting week here of football. There's some terrible games on paper, and then there's some really good games on paper. But I'm going to go out and say it. Jared's not going to like to hear this. I still think the Bills have a chance to win that division. But I think the Miami Dolphins are going to go in there and win. They just put up 70 points. And again, I know it's against the Denver Broncos. And I know that people are probably going to say, well, they've played the Patriots. And the Patriots are 1-2. And, they beat up on a bad Denver Broncos team. No. This Miami Dolphins team is the best offense in the league right now. On the show, I want to say that they're the best team in football, but I calm that down. I think it's the 49ers are the most balanced team. I think they're the best team in football at this moment. But the Miami Dolphins are knocking on that door, Ben. They look really, really good. Tua looks really, really good. And when he's healthy, they win football games. I don't care if the Buffalo Bills are 8-2. I don't care if this offends Jared. This is just my personal belief. I think they're going to go into Buffalo and shock the world of Buffalo, not the full world, but the world of Buffalo land. I'm going to say they go in and win 30-23. Their offense is just too high powered right now. I know the Broncos, and we want to just talk about that. They're beating up on bad teams. That New England Patriots team is a pretty tough team. That was a nice gritty win in Foxborough. They're going to win. And Marianne, you're 100% right, and that's been my storyline the whole year. Tua needs to stay healthy, and when Tua's on that football field, the Dolphins win games. I don't care if he's 2-8 against, or the team of Miami is 2-8 against Josh Allen. That's going to change. Tyreek Hill's looking like the best wide receiver in football. He's proven me wrong on the Justin Jefferson the best. I still think he is. I'll live and die on that hill. But this Miami Dolphins team's going to win, Ben. That's my, like, I don't know. I know we usually do our predictions, our locks, our upsets. This isn't a lock or this isn't an upset, but this is just a bold take for me. I think the Miami Dolphins are going to go in there. They're going to win this game, and they're going to kind of get a little bit of a control in the division. And it's not Adams. Adams is not the best wide receiver in the league, Lewis. I'm sorry. Anymore.
Top three. We'll give them top three. I'll go Jefferson, Hill, Adams. Go Jefferson, Hill, Adams. That's pretty fair.
Chase?
Probably 4. I got a little bias. I know. I don't really care for any Bengals. Whatever. Lewis is still on that one. But before I get to the Bills, Bills one. I want to say I'm back at Josh 100 with that Colts over the Rams. I thought that was going to be my upset of the week. But I was looking into it. They actually got the Colts favorite, minus 130. I was surprised by that. I was surprised. I don't know why they. I don't know. They're kind of maybe disrespecting the Rams, or maybe they just believe like we do, Josh. So that's a good sign for us. Vegas believe in us. But I like it. But I think the Rams kind of came back down to earth a little. Then Bengals won. Williams and Nakua kind of, obviously those monster first 2 games that kind of came back down to earth, and Stafford, that defense couldn't do everything for him, even with an injured Burrow. So, yeah, I think the last Keenan Allen, too. Keenan Allen's a monster. Shout out to Herbert. Finally getting a win. That was another pretty bad game. 0-2, not a bad game, but 0-2s. The Vikings-Chargers, whoever lost that one pretty much has been sent packing, and the Vikings do not look too good right now. Not too good outlook for the season. But shout out Herbert. Got the job done over there with Keenan Allen. And Mike Williams obviously hurt himself already. So, just want to say sorry to Mike Williams. I don't know. He's already on the IR, already done for the season. But he got me some fantasy points. So appreciate that. But, I'm going to have to go opposite Josh. I'm going Bills on this one. I'm going Bills over Dolphins. I don't know. I got something. Just got a feeling. I think the Dolphins, obviously, massive 70-point game. I think that offense, I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it just calms down a lot. I think this offense of the Bills is a little better than the Broncos to contend with. I think they'll be able to withstand some of the punches. Obviously, Russell Wilson and company, not the best right now. Broncos, another team in disarray, but I think this Bills offense is clicking. Got a nice bounce back win against the Raiders and Commanders. We got that offense flowing. So,
laughing.
That's
he's calling you out.
That's not what I said. Hey, he did do the job for me. I appreciate you, Mike. Get well. Hopefully he recovers fully. But he got the job done. So I digress. But I think the Bills, just the offense is clicking right now. Dolphins defense isn't the best. I think that offense kind of is overshadowing some of those defensive woes. That defense isn't the best. I haven't been looking the best. So I think this Bills offense is going to expose them a little. It's going to be a shootout. Obviously, I think it'll be the top 2 games of the week. Not the best slate as we've seen this. Bears. I already forget who they're playing. The Bears. Whatever game, that game stinks. Who were they playing, Josh? The Bears?
Yeah, I was just going to check.
I forgot. They're
playing the Broncos.
Broncos. So it's just a forgettable game. So we both just forgot about it. So forget about that one. I think this Bills Dolphins got the potential, obviously, to be the best game of the week. Going to be a shootout, and I think the Bills just get it done. I don't want to just steal Josh's stats with the 8-2 against the Dolphins, Josh Allen, but I lean on against that one. Maybe he's got the Dolphins number. And especially in Buffalo. I think Dolphins they got the next two at home, so I think they rebound. Obviously, this Dolphins team is a force to be reckoned with. This offense is just so explosive, but I'm just eager to see if there's any burnout from that 70 points. If they just a little. There's got to be, we come down. You can't just keep putting up numbers like that forever. So I think come down back to earth a little right here, and I think that Bills offense just is a little too much for this defense right now, the Dolphins. So I'll go Bills. I got the Bills in this one.
I have no problem with that. It's going to be a good game, going to be a shootout. And there was a comment. Oh, here it is. It was Jeff. Jerry Jeudy to the Pats. You heard it here first. I keep seeing that float around. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, you never know. He'd probably fit in because he is another just wide receiver 3 because I loved him. I loved him in Alabama, but he just hasn't cut it out. I mean, he would fit in perfectly. I know him and Mac Jones. It would be kind of cool to think about. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's kind of like the Kyle Pitts to Dallas, like where it's just like rumors that are just fan rumors happening right now. I could be completely wrong though, Jeff. And hey, I'll give you credit on the show live if you are right next time. But I don't think it'll happen. I do think the Patriots need. I will die on this hill. I will live on this hill and die on this hill. They don't have a true number 1. Until they find a true number 1, they won't take that next leap. However, that doesn't mean that they're a bad football team. They're not going to play teams very well. I think they will. We'll get to them a little bit later. But yeah, I think Jerry Jeudy would fit in there fine. I don't think they'll do it.
No. He's just another wide receiver 3. This Patriots offense kind of turns them into it a little. If Pharaoh Brown's the only one catching touchdowns for you, it's a little bit of a problem. The Patriots got a little bit of a sort of playmaking problem. Jets, that still was kind of not the best performance against a pretty woeful Jets team. I know that defense is good, but that offense still from the Patriots not really doing anything for me, Josh. That offense really didn't prove anything, didn't show me anything. So, but if they get Jerry Jeudy, you never know. I think definitely be better than where he is right now. Russell Wilson kind of stinks. I'd probably get him out at some point this season, but I think the Patriots, like you said, Josh, it's a problem for many years. Like the Dallas Cowboys point to Dak. Just no playmakers. Nobody catch the ball. Nobody make any plays for the quarterback. We don't have Brady. But almost got
boy, that's a cliff moment there.
Almost got caught.
Somebody's out there.
No. They need someone else. They need someone to make those plays. No more Brady here. So I can't turn everyone into a good wide receiver. So gotta get somebody. Jerry Jeudy fit. It would be nice, but maybe asking price. I don't know what the asking price is. If they want to toss a 3rd round or a 2nd round, I'd probably say if you toss a 2nd round, that'd be fine.
That's what I was gonna say. 2nd or 3rd round pick.
2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, I think again they just have a lot of. They need to shake things up a little bit. Pay a wide receiver. Yeah. Juju, he's looking like that. Jacoby Myers for Juju is not looking good right now at all, Ben. And Patriots fans know that. We're running short, so we're going to get into our predictions for this week. I'm going to start things off with my lock of the week. I played it really safe. I know I've just been hammering this team, but how can you not? And I almost feel like it's kind of a smack in the face because the Cardinals beat us. But I don't know. I'm sorry. I have to pick this one. It's my cop-out lock of the week. If you can use the 49ers, if you haven't used them yet, use them this week. They're going to roll. Cardinals, I think, they're feeling a little high. They beat the Cowboys. They're going to play an even better team right now, and the 49ers. 49ers are going to roll them 40-10. I don't know. I think they're going to come down to earth a little bit. I do like James's point on the Cardinals playing teams tough, but they're just going to run into a brick wall. This 49ers team is by far the best football team in the NFL right now at this very moment, in my opinion. They're going to go to 4-0, and they're just going to continue to roll. And then we're going to get ready for that Week 5 matchup for the Cowboys and 49ers. But 49ers will win this one convincingly, and that's my lock.
Yeah, I like that one. Like I said, I'll back Jimmy's point, too. Cardinals are going to keep it respectable all year. Again, shout out Josh Jobs. Get every opportunity to shout him out, take it. Obviously former Steeler. So Sharon Dobbs and all that. But yeah, 49ers are just a different level of competition. They'll compete with most teams in the NFL, but the 49ers are looking to be the best team in football right now. So I think they'll make easy work of them. My lock of the week, touched on both of them already, but I got the Eagles over the Commanders. That Eagles defense looked scary good last night, maybe the best in the NFL. Kind of sort of put the answers, sort of put the questions up. Is Baker back? As he reinvented himself a little to bed right now. No, he kind of looked like the Baker of old. Had a couple bad picks. That just defense got after him, neutralized Rachaad White. No run game, just got after Baker all night. And that defense just looked menacing. You forget that Jalen Carter's out there too. They've got him. Probably would have been the number one overall pick. Without some of those off the field issue concerns, and obviously just the quarterback need at the top. Probably just the overall best player in this draft. Fell to the Eagles, and they just got basically the whole Georgia defense over there. Nolan Smith. I'm already blanking on some of those linebackers. I don't care for the Bama linebackers too much. Shout out to Florida, but Georgia linebackers too much. Florida, Georgia don't really like each other. I don't like Bama either, but Florida, Georgia, a little different rivalry, a little more real rivalry right there. Same conference, so it's a division, I should say. But I got the Eagles over the Commanders easily. Commanders stink, especially at home in Philly. Like I mentioned earlier, Commanders came back down to earth. That offense, I like Sam Howell. Went a little too hard on him earlier. But I just don't think he's ready right now for some of these top tier defenses. And I think the Eagles take advantage of it. Blowout.
Agree. I this actually might even be my survivor pick. I can't use the 49ers anymore, but I agree with this. I also wanted to get to two of these comments here. Jake, you're not wrong. Juju, maybe he is just a TikTok star now. He had that very explosive year alongside Antonio Brown. Maybe that's kind of what he's living off of. I know last year he was a key role in the Chiefs winning the championship, but again, talking about another dynasty in the making there. So I don't know. The jury is definitely out for Juju Smith-Schuster right now, and right now it's looking like Jacoby Myers is better than Juju as well. Charlie, I digress. We are going to get to the Steelers game here. This is a 1:00 game. It is in Houston. 2-1 Steelers traveling in to play the 1-2 Texans. And this is my moment where I'm going to say it. This is my moment where I'm going to call James and everybody out. What happened to all the Kenny Pickett hate? And I know some people are going to say, oh, well, what happened to the Matt Canada hate? Kenny looked really good this week. Same with the Steelers defense. I don't think that this is like a lock by any means, but I feel confident that the Steelers will win by 7 or more. I think that's comfortable enough. I'm going to say Steelers control the ball. I'm going to say there's a little bit of a Najee Harris come-out party this year, if you have him in fantasy. I know Jaylen Warren's looked a little bit better, but again, Pickens, all those guys, Deontay Johnson out right now, which hasn't been good. But I think this Steelers team is a very fundamental team. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to continue that streak of Mike Tomlin and them being above 500. I'm going to say the Texans and C.J. Stroud kind of come back down to life a little bit. I'm going to say the Steelers win this one 23-13.
I like that, Josh. I like the win. Scares me a little. I don't know. It scares me a little, especially at home. I mean, C.J. Stroud's been lighting it up. We just got lit up by Jimmy G. Devontae Adams just put on a show against us, obviously. Texans don't have anybody even close to sniffing as good as him, even in the same stratosphere. But I don't know. Stroud kind of scares me. Just throwing all these passes, throwing all these long balls. The secondary isn't looking too good with us. Patrick Peterson, not the best signing. Like all these veteran moves we always make never really pan out. They seem to always die out. There's a reason why I think they get rid of these guys on their former teams, and I think we're starting to see it with Patrick Peterson. Made a nice interception, but still continues to get beat on key plays and just outmuscled, outmanned. Amari Cooper moved him around, and Devontae Adams had his fair share, and has been the best look for Patrick Peterson. So I'm a little scared with this one. I'm not gonna do like I did last week. I'll take the Steelers. I think obviously beat the Texans. I think it'll be a little grittier. I'll go 2017. I think it's a little closer than you think. I think this Texas team, like I said, I mean, they got a couple. I mean, Will Anderson's been playing well over there. Solid start to his rookie season. Stingley obviously in the IR. So I mean, these other young guys have been having to step up. They got some key pieces over there. Like I said, CJ Stroud can light it up. So that kind of concerns me. Damian Pierce is no slouch. Obviously, we have our running back and our running game woes. But you know what? I think we get it done. I think it's just a little closer than people think. I think Stroud and this Texas team got a good thing going. D'Amico Ryans really has his team believe it. Really well coached team. And like I said, I mean, I think Stroud's the best of the rookie quarterbacks so far. So I think it's going to be a little bit more of a battle than everyone thinks, Josh. But I think the Steelers get it done 2017. And I'll agree with you, Josh, on that Najee. Najee's got to. He's got to come out at some point. He's got to show himself. I know his offensive line hasn't given him many chances, but Jaylen Warren's finding some success. So you gotta find it. You got to do your thing. So I think this is a perfect game for him to come out and have sort of welcome to the 2023 season moment.
And it just reminds me, and I know James is going to say the whole, well, Najee was never as explosive as Zeke, but I think it reminds me of the Zeke situation, but you take Najee's college success. Everybody thought he was going to come right into the NFL and take over. Kind of similar to he had like the Bijan Robinson feel. And Bijan Robinson's been great. Right? I'm just saying, Najee in Warren's like the Pollard, he's the more shifty, he can find the holes well, and it looks to people like the eye test like Warren's the better option, and I feel like you're going through that same thing. The only difference is, Ezekiel Elliott had a very, very phenomenal start to his NFL career. Najee's been solid, but he hasn't really lived up to the hype, I guess, for lack of better terms there, and I think Najee we're still waiting for that breakout season. We're still waiting for, even Josh Jacobs, the jury's always been out on him, but he had that breakout year last year. Najee hasn't really had it. I know the stats. We go back and forth with James, whenever, me and you. He's been over 1,000 yards. He's done that, but again, he hasn't, quite shown us that Alabama Najee Harris. And it really does. It's frustrating because it reminds me so much of the Zeke and the Pollard in the sense of just we're waiting on Najee, but he's just kind of.
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that. That's a good point.
It kind of reminds me of it a little bit. You got Warren, the later round pick. He was solid in college, but wasn't as touted as Najee. Najee and Zeke both were phenomenal college athletes. I think the only difference in that analogy is Ezekiel Elliott was phenomenal for the first 5 to 6 years. Fell off a little bit of explosiveness, still does a lot of the dirty work I think people don't realize, whereas Najee hadn't really catapulted into the NFL, really has kind of had that offensive line stuff you can fall back on, but again, they're just, I don't know, it's frustrating to watch, because I remember I was texting either you or Cody or you guys in the group chat, and I was just like, wow, you guys are kind of right with this Warren thing, he really does kind of, the offense kind of, it seems more upbeat, and it kind of had that feeling with Pollard towards the end of Zeke's tenure there. But long spiel, I don't know, it reminds me of it. I kind of agree with you. I was going to go 30-13, but I think the Steelers team is a very, close
Still
game.
got some questions. Still got some question marks. Still not there.
Question marks on offense. I agree with you. It'll be a close game for you guys. But yeah, weird analogy. We'll definitely tune back in on that. I'm waiting for the Najee Harris come out party. It's not there yet. Here we go. This is my game of the week. I hope it's America's game of the week. 1-2, New England Patriots, 4:25 game coming into Dallas, who they need to be angry, Ben. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because we still got a couple more predictions we got to get through, so I got to get to your point as well. I think the Dallas Cowboys need to control this game. They need to attack the Patriots' number one weakness on offense, and that is the offensive line. We match up very well defensively. This Patriots team is not, and I know a bunch of people want to say it, they have not been able to run the ball super effectively. That's one of our biggest issues. So neutralize that running game for the Patriots. Get pressure on Mac Jones. Stack the box as much as you can. and create havoc for him, because if you have to have him scramble out of the pocket, you have to have him step up and make big plays, bad things happen for the New England Patriots. We have a very stingy defense. I think at home we're going to kind of come back to life a little bit more. Again, this is a very tough New England Patriots defense, but I wouldn't say it's much tougher than the Jets defense of what we've already seen. Clearly the Patriots are the better team, but offensively for the Cowboys, control the line of scrimmage. Do not let the other team control the line of scrimmage, because that's what happened last week. In red zone efficiency, I don't want to see stall out drives that get all the way down to the 35 of New England and then it stalls out. Dallas is going to win 27-20. Not a statement win by any means. Always a close game when we play each other. But I think they need this win bad. I think the Patriots, I think Dallas is the better team. And it's a tough stretch for the Patriots to start. I know the schedule gets a little easier for them as the year goes on. They have one of the toughest schedules, but I know they have an easier stretch coming at some point. I think they're going to go 1-3. I think Dak's going to go back to that old Dak we know. I think we're going to get the win at home. Sorry, Pats fans, but 27-20. I'm calling on that defense, though. I want this defense swarming, because the defense is the better side of our football team. I know we lost Diggs, but we're a very deep defense. They know it. And I want Brandon Cooks to get the ball more. Come on.
Yeah, great point at the end right there. You saw the success in that Cardinals game. Brandon Cooks had a couple key catches. Get him involved. Get him involved. Just sort of as that Michael Gallup role, just that other guy, other than CD. You can't just throw a CD every time. I gotta get these other guys involved. So CD doing his part, doing his thing over there, but just these other guys gotta start helping out. Get Cooks the ball, and I think this offense is gonna, just improve a great deal. But this is a get right game if I've ever seen it, Josh. This is an easy one. Cowboys take the spread, take whatever. I think they pound the Patriots. I think they're going to beat them up. I think they're ready. Listen, at home, this is the perfect storm. That Patriots team, just another team. Just you got the Jets, and I know the Cowboys struggled to score as well, but the Patriots just couldn't put up points against them. They just couldn't. Still, this offense is just not clicking. I think the Cowboys are just ready. They're going to be obviously a little fired up after this Cardinals loss. I think they're going to read all these, headlines. They're going to hear everything. So I think they're going to come out right now. Dak's going to get ready to go. At home, this is just perfectly set up. The Patriots team, 3 out of the 4 cornerbacks are injured. I don't know at this time. We'll see who's back at that moment. I know it's obviously still early in the week, but just injuries already plaguing that defensive side, which is a much better side. So I see the Cowboys just being up on the Patriots. Like the team, this is a get right game. Big game for this offense. Just get that confidence back. And like I said, I know Josh would love it. I just do. I think this team is they're just not into the Patriots. Not into the Patriots having to go, especially if it was in Foxborough, it'll be a little different. I think we might see the game a couple years ago, a little more closely contested. But I think in Dallas, with that crowd behind them, I think Dallas gets this one done pretty easily. So I got the Cowboys. Let's go Cowboys.
What's the score there? What do you got?
I got 30-14.
Wow. Okay, so you think this is going to be...
Yeah, I just think the Cowboys get right. It's like I said, it's a get right game. You got to... we did see that one.
We definitely did, Nick. And guess what? That's why they're going to come out angry. That's why, right, Ben? That's why they're going to come out angry. Exactly.
I think, like I said, that loss really just kind of upset everybody. I think kind of woke everybody up, as we both said earlier in the show. They were kind of on top of everything. Everybody was, just not kissing up to them, but say Cowboys are the best, Cowboys this, Cowboys that. I think that loss really woke them up and say, hey, we got to come out there and perform every week. So I think it's a perfect game. Patriots team, well-disciplined team. Obviously, Bill Belichick led. They're going to have to play their best game in order to beat them. I think, I don't know if Mike McCarthy does it, but Dak probably get them all heads on straight and get that victory for the Cowboys. So I got the Cowboys 30-14. Let's go.
I like it. That's music to my ears. This is, I don't know. I'm going to go with my upset of the week. Then I'm going to turn it to Ben's upset. I don't know, I'm just gonna put it on the screen here. I'm so conflicted. Like, I don't know why. I don't want to do this. Because I know it's gonna happen. It's the 9:30 game. The Atlanta Falcons. I really don't want to do this because I feel like this is just a jinx happening. But I didn't love what I saw at Jacksonville. This is a London game, so playing in Jacksonville I think would be kind of tough for this Falcons team. But again, kind of more of a neutral ground. I know I think there's a decent amount of Jacksonville fans in London, but whatever. Atlanta's a decent fan base.
Second home game. It's like a home game for them, Jack.
It's kind of.
They're London's team.
I don't know, but I want to do this. I like what I've seen out of the Falcons. I think. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be that wake-up call for the Jags. I was looking at a lot of the other games and the spreads. This is the upset I'm feeling. I don't know. This Falcons team has played teams very close, very competitive. They did this a lot last year as well. I hate Ridder. I do. I agree with Cody 1,000%. I think he's the 32nd best quarterback in the league. Maybe 27 at the highest. I don't think he's that good. I'm sorry if your family's watching. Or you're watching yourself. You're not that good. But I think they're going to get Drake London the ball a little bit. I think Bijan's going to have his way. I know Trayvon Walker is one of their great pieces over there in Jacksonville, but I feel like Ben talked about the perfect storm for the Cowboys. I feel like this is just the perfect storm for the Falcons. They've got a very stingy corner back over there in A.J. Terrell. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars have struggled a little bit. I'm going to take the Falcons in a weird 13-10 game win. They're not going to put up many points. I think the defense will be able to kind of control it. I don't even know how much I believe this upset of the week. I don't even want to say it because I feel like it's going to be a jinx. And then I look at the score, 37-0 Jags. I don't know. It's a weird gut feeling I have. I almost want to retract this, but I'm going to go Falcons 13-10.
Low scoring game in London.
Weird.
Yeah, the Jags play basically. They play basically every year in London, so they're London's team. But I like it. I mean, that's a scrappy Falcons team. Love what Bijan is doing over there, and yeah, Desmond Ridder. I probably put him like 27-30. Yeah, he's probably not the worst, but he's definitely not the best. So he's pretty bad. I put him in that one. Sorry, Ridder. But I'm going to another bad quarterback. I don't think he's going to be playing that bad on this game. We alluded to it earlier, so it was me. I got the Titans. I got the Titans as the upset of the week over the Bengals. I don't know. Having come into Tennessee, Derrick Henry only, had about 20 snaps last week. I think they're going to up that a bunch. The offensive line, just get right game for them. Bengals still a little beat up with Burrow. Offense still, it was clicking against the Rams, but it still didn't get the touchdowns that we were looking for. They were able to move it, but red zone woes and just a couple bad throws from Burrow at the end that were a little strange. Definitely get to see that calf is still affecting him. So, both 1 and 2 teams that just need this to avoid that 1-3 slate. I think Titans got another team like the Cowboys. Got embarrassed last week. Pretty tough loss to the Browns in Cleveland. Just got embarrassed, 27-3. I think Tannehill's going to remember that, and I think they're going to come out strong in this one. Run game heavy. They're going to stop the run game of Mixon, force Burrow to throw it. It's Italian. I don't know. What does he say? Italian, Irish? It's Irish. Irish flag. Sorry, I misread that. It's an Irish flag. But I got the Titans as my upset of the week, and hopefully they can feed Derrick Henry.
I literally love this. When he said this, I was like, when I looked and saw, because I looked before he had given me his upset of the week. This was probably going to be mine. I couldn't agree with this anymore. I think they need to feed Derrick Henry. Like, I am one of the biggest Derrick Henry supporters. Everybody knows that, Dylan. We go back and forth. I think he's the best running back in the league. Whatever. They need to feed him. He's their best player on offense. He's their best player on the field. I don't care what anybody says. I agree with you 100%. He needs to get way more than 20 carries. This Bengals defense is not the best run defense team. They're also not the best team so far to start this season. Joe Burrow doesn't look too good. It's a tough place to play, Tennessee. I again, I don't love Ryan Tannehill. I don't love the Titans, but I love this matchup for them. I think the Bengals, again, Joe Burrow hobbling by. I think this is going to be kind of a retract year for the Bengals. I think Jared called this earlier. I love this. I hope Derrick Henry goes off. We need that. I need that. I need that for my fantasy. I think the Titans need that. But aside from the fantasy, the bias, I really think that this is a nice matchup for the Titans, and I couldn't agree with you anymore, Ben. I think it's great. I'm waiting for the comments to just be like, yeah, just agree with them some more. But again, thank you guys. We are smart. Thank you guys for tuning in. The Ice Shakers, 15% off, guys. Come on. I was pissed to see Jose had an Ice Shaker. I mean, I'm happy to see he has an Ice Shaker, but I was pissed to hear he didn't use our coupon code because he could have saved himself some money. So come on, Jose. If you're going to get an Ice Shaker, you got to use that TOT, Time On Talks coupon code. I just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. New England Patriots fans, if you're watching, how about them Cowboys? We're going to win 27-20, and it's going to be a nice, fun episode next week.
Yeah, everyone better tune in next week. It's, Jeff mentioned earlier in the comments, it's going to be an all-time show next week. He thinks the Patriots are going to win. He thinks they stun the Cowboys, so I think she was agreeing as well, so we'll see. We'll see that one, but thanks to everyone. I always appreciate everyone watching, but we keep it short and sweet with this one. Let's go, Cowboys.